So we begin chapter 6, which is all about employment basics. So we're going to look for employment, how pay periods and hourly rates work, commissions, royalties, and piecework pay, some benefits that you get as being an employee for a certain company, and Social Security and Medicare and how they work with your paychecks. So let's take a look at 6-1, how to look for employment. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to compute periodic salary based on annual contract salary, interpret abbreviations in classified ads, and express classified ad prices as piecewise functions. We've already done piecewise functions, so this will be a review of those. Our key terms: employment agency. This is a business that has listings of jobs, and they charge a fee to help you find a job. Fee paid, this is when the employer, so somebody that you're going to work for, is willing to pay the fee that is charged by the employment agency. So the employment agency charges you a fee to get you the job. Certain employers will offer to pay that fee for you as an incentive for you to come work for them. Your next key term is resume. This is a short account of your education and qualifications for employment. So your resume summarizes why you are best fit for that job. It tells where you went to school, what you went to school for, where you have worked in the past, as well as other jobs that are similar to the job that you are applying for. The Form W-4 Employees Withholding Allowance Certificate, this is a form that is filled out by new employees. So anytime that you work for a company, they're going to give you a whole bunch of paperwork to fill out. One of these pieces of paperwork is going to be the W-4. This tells the government how much money they're going to deduct from your paycheck for taxes. Okay, and depending on how you answer the questions on the W-4 determines how much comes out of your paycheck. Benefits. This is additional compensation from an employer. Benefits can include health and dental insurance, child care, retirement, and travel expenses. Discount. This is the amount that a charge, fee, or cost is lowered by. So again, if you're putting an ad in a newspaper, sometimes the more that you do, there's a bigger discount. So the more lines that you were to put in or the more ads you were to put in, there's a discount for that. So some things to think about. Do any of you currently have a job, or did you have a job over the summer? So do you have a job? Do you currently have a job? Will you have a job? Go ahead and fill this question in, as well as doing it on a separate sheet of paper because you're going to turn this question in the next day. And then how did you find your job? So do you work for a family? Did a friend of yours tell you, hey, I found this job, do you want to come and work with me? How did you get the job that you have now, or that you had in the summer, or that you're going to have this coming summer? So go ahead and fill in those two questions in your notes as well as on a separate sheet of paper, please. Example 1. Julianne found a job listed in the classified ads that pays a yearly salary of $41K. So that $41K stands for $41,000. What is the weekly salary based on this annual salary? So again, that $41K is $41,000 per year, because that's what annual means. We know that there are 52 weeks in a year. So we need to figure out how much she's going to make per week. So I need to take $41,000 and split that up, or divide it by 52 weeks in a year. So you need to actually do the math on the side over here in the blank space and tell me how much money per week she is making. For the check your understanding, Karen found a job with an annual salary of $67.3K. What is her monthly pay rounded to the nearest dollar? So that $67.3K is $67,300 per year. We need to know that there are 12 months in a year. So I need to split up her $67,300 over the course of 12 months. So just like the previous example, only difference is that we're not dividing by 52 this time, we're dividing by 12. So go ahead on the side of your slide here, calculate 67,300 divided by 12, and tell me how much she makes per month. For example 2, Dylan took a job through an employment agency. The job pays $395 per week. Dylan must pay a fee to the employment agency. The fee is 20% of his first 4 weeks of pay. How much money must Dylan pay the agency? Well, the first thing we need to do is they take 20% of his first 4 weeks of pay. Well, he gets $3.95 per week, so we need to calculate how much he makes over the course of those 4 weeks. So our first thing is to take the $395 times the 4 weeks and get our answer there. So go ahead and pause the video, calculate. Once you have that answer, we need to calculate the 20% of that. So the calculator doesn't like the percent sign, so we have to convert the 20% to a decimal. So you're going to take your answer of $395 times 4, and you're going to multiply that by 0.2 and get your answer. This is the amount that he has to pay to the employment agency. So I should see some multiplication on your paper when I go to grade your notes for the $395 times 4, as well as the answer times the 0.2%. Check your understanding here. We're going to skip this question and go on to example 3. Ken is a mechanic who owns Ace Auto Repair. He needs a foreign car expert and is placing a 12-line classified ad. The cost of an ad X lines long is given by the following piecewise function. So here's the piecewise functions. So this means $56 for the first 4 lines when X is less than or equal to 4. So up to 4 lines is $56. So those first 4 lines, $56. After those 4 lines, it's the first 4 lines, which is the 56, plus $6 for each additional line over the 4. So that's why I have the minus 4 here, because I've got to take out the first 4 that I've already paid for. So find the cost of a 12-line ad. Well, we know that this first line of the piecewise function, that is for up to 4 lines. This one right here is the one that we're going to use because this is for anything over 4 lines. And we know that 12 is much bigger than 4, so this is the piece of the piecewise function that we're going to use. So 12-line add, all I'm going to do is take and substitute in 12 where I see my X. So you need to go ahead and do this math here, do the calculation, and tell me how much it will cost for a 12-line ad. Check your understanding. A local newspaper charges $13 for each of the first 4 lines of a classified ad and $7.50 for each additional line. Express the cost of an X line ad, C of X, as a piecewise function. So just like we did in the previous one, this time we're going to actually make the piecewise function. So C of X equals $13 for the first 4 lines. So when X is less than or equal to 4 lines here. Now you need to go and fill in the bottom piece of this piecewise function. So what I need you to do is go back to example 3 and look at the piecewise function there and go back and maybe even listen to my explanation again of how the piecewise function was set up here. So you need to go ahead and fill this out in your notes. You also need to answer this one on a separate sheet of paper. Extend your understanding. We're going to go ahead and skip this question, so you can write skip there. This slide is not in your notes, but you do need to copy this down. The percent discount. So to calculate a discount on adding more lines for a newspaper or any discount that they offer you, to calculate the percent discount that they're giving you, you take the original price minus the discount price and divide all of that by the original price. Example 4. An online job search site charges employers fees to post job listings. Their price list is shown in the table. The prices per posting decrease as the number of postings increase. What is the percent savings if an employer decides to post 4 jobs? So again, we need percent discount equals original minus the discount divided by the original. So the original in this case would be the $395 because that's for the single posting. The discount that they're getting if they do 4 of them is the $350. So to do this, we take $395 minus $350 divided by the $395. So you need to do that calculation, please, and tell me what is the percent savings per posting if they were to do 4 versus just the 1. Check your understanding. We're going to go ahead and skip this question and go on to example 5. Jane's Printing Service charges $29.95 to print 200 high-quality copies of a 1-page resume. Each additional set of 100 copies costs $14. Express the cost R of printing X sets of 100 resumes as a piecewise function. So the setup of here is still just like the other ones. It's $29.95 for the first 200 or the first 2 sets of 100. Okay? And then after that, it's $14 for each set of 100. So here is your piecewise function. So it's $29.95 when x is an integer. Now it has to be an integer because we have to do it in whole numbers here. That is less than or equal to 2. Okay? And then $29.95, that's for the first 2 sets of 100. Then $14 for each set after the 2. So again, when x is an integer, because we can't have decimals here, they have to be complete numbers. That is greater than 2. So here is your piecewise function for example 5. Check your understanding. We're going to go ahead and skip this question, so go ahead and write skip on your notes. And extend your understanding, we are also going to skip this question. So that's the end of 6-1. Make sure that you have the questions that you were supposed to written down on a sheet of paper to turn in when you come back into class.